is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight, from beautiful Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals play host to the Atlanta Braves. With my partner tonight, Rick Horton, I'm Dan McLaughlin, and welcome to Baseball on Fox Sports Midwest. We'll have plenty on the game tonight, but first let's step back just for a moment. Think about game number 2 of this series and what it meant. A win for the Cardinals, a win for Adam Wainwright, and really a look at history.
Yeah, I think we should celebrate it a bit more. Adam Wainwright was terrific here yesterday. He went a complete game for the 5th time this season. Very durable, very strong in the 9th. A bunch of punch-outs, 9, in fact, for Adam Wainwright, and he was in the zone all night long, completely dominating this Braves lineup. In fact, with those 9 strikeouts, he has passed Chris Carpenter on the Cardinals' all-time strikeout leaders list. He is up to number 3.
A win like that, what does it do for this club?
Well, I think the Cardinals have to be excited about beating a good team. We talked about that before Game 1. This is a team that can play. They are way up in the National League East, and so you know the competition is there. Potentially somebody you would play in October, and the Cardinals are really finding out just how good they are over the next couple of weeks.
So a win last night for Wainwright. Game 1, it was Joe Kelly. One of his best friends is Shelby Miller. That young rookie gets the start tonight. Julio Teheran and Shelby Miller. Both are 22, and both have had very good first years.
And this could be a matchup that we are going to see for years and years to come. Age 22, making start number 26. On the Cardinals side, they go with Shelby Miller. When he's good, he's outstanding. A key for him is going to be to keep the ball in the ballpark. He likes to pitch up in the zone, and this Braves team has some power. But when Shelby's right, he's got swing and miss stuff. And for the most part, I would say Shelby has been extraordinarily consistent for the Cardinals, and you know he's durable. The question is, can he keep the pitch count down as well? Tehran, on the other hand, also outstanding season, ERA under 3. In fact, he is 10th in the National League in earned run average at 2.96, and he has been a durable starter for Atlanta, and he pitched well against St. Louis in Atlanta earlier this month.
Well, coming up, we're going to take a look at home runs, so I'm not sure that Tehran and Shelby Miller want to be watching TV in the next 2 minutes. Long home runs, the subject next. Of home runs of the top 5, the longest, and you have to have 10 to get into this category, and we've got 2 of the 5 in this category in the ball game tonight. Justin Upton of the Braves, Matt Holliday of the Cardinals. Upton with 24 home runs, Holliday with 17, and it was Justin Upton in game 1 of the series that hit number 24.
The power on display in this series. Upton got a hanging slider and hit this one into the seats. He is red hot in the month of August. And it was Matt Holliday last night. The vicious swing and the long home run for Matt. We've come to expect those shots from the Cardinal left fielder.
Both are in the lineup tonight. It's Mizzou night. The Golden Girls are here on Fox Sports Midwest. A legend is up next. You don't want to miss it.
franchises in baseball. Many of the greatest pitchers the game has ever seen were the birds on the bat. Some of the pitching greats are immortalized on the walls of Busch Stadium. Some of them are still pitching. From his World Series winning strikeout in 2006 to another run at the Cy Young Award in 2013, Adam Wainwright has become one of Cardinal Nation's favorites, and one of mine as well.
Look at Shelby. Start his warm-up tosses, and hopefully a fruitful night for Shelby and for the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinals baseball on Fox Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designate a driver. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer or log on to stlchevy.com. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers, #1 for quality tires and expert auto service. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake, just no equal. The Fredbird caps are being handed out tonight. Fredbird's birthday weekend as we turn to our Toyota keys to the game in Recordon.
At times, Shelby Millers can pitch up in the strike zone and give up some home runs. The Atlanta Braves lead the National League with 151 big flies, so be careful with that. Cardinals clutch hitting. When you play teams that are good, the games tend to be close, and one or two moments in the game tend to define it. So get those clutch hits. It's something the Cardinals have done all season long.
And you got to be able to field these. We're just warming up. Hopefully not a sign of things to come for Cole Wong, who is starting at second base here tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. Our Kia starter, Shelby Miller, start number 25 this year. I think a very solid season, 11-8. It was very good early on.
Only one pitcher in the National League with more strikeouts per 9 innings. That's A.J. Burnett with the Pirates. So Shelby again has the swing and miss stuff. And for the most part, his control has been good. Now, he does get the pitch count up from time to time. We'll watch for that here tonight.
This will be the lineup that he will face this evening. Logan Schaefer, the left fielder, bats leadoff. Then Justin Upton and Freddie Freeman here in the first. Chris Johnson, average at .332. Then Brian McCann, Simmons, B.J. Upton, Elliott Johnson, a switch hitter, and Julio Teheran. The Cardinals defense, Holiday, Jay, and Beltron. This is brought to you by Dobbs. On the left side of the infield, it's Carpenter and Descalso. Wong and Craig on the right side. Yachty is behind the plate. Shelby Miller on the mound. Freddie Gonzalez, his team cruising towards the finish line and hoping that they'll have home field advantage come postseason play. Schaefer is hitting .271, and the first pitch is taken for a strike. 3 home runs, 15 RBIs. Schaefer has been back and forth from center field and left field in this series. Strike 2.
Playing because Jason Hayward is out. Fractured jaw, got hit in the face with a pitch. Schaefer's been more of a pinch hitter for the Braves, 7 for 22 off the bench.
And an 0-2 pitch from Shelby Miller. Shelby at home, an ERA of 1.99. On the road, he is 5-5 with an ERA that is over 4. He has been sensational here at Busch Stadium. Got him. Starts the ball game off with a strikeout. Brings in the right fielder, Justin Upton. So that's what we were talking about before the home games. He's 6-3 and 500 on the road. The difference, ERA.
So Miller's been good at home, and the Braves have been bad on the road. Looking at those basic numbers, Atlanta looking for a way to play better. When they travel, they are at 33-33, and for a team that's 13 games in front in the National League East, that just shows how good they've been at home.
Remember last night, it was Justin Upton ejected. And what happened was he was screaming at himself running down the first base line, and the umpire had heard enough. And that umpire, Paul Nart, at third base tonight. He was behind the plate last night. And Shelby Miller starts the evening off with a pair of strikeouts.
2 very defensive swings, too. A couple of strikeouts. Schaefer and Upton. Upton strikes out for the 130th time. Just waves at that pitch. Miller's first strike, the ball was running to the right. Second strikeout running to the left. So good movement down in the zone so far.
Freddie Freeman, .316 average. And there is strike 1. Just like Wainwright last night, his first inning, he struck out 2, and it really just seemed to set the tone for the rest of the way for Adam. Nothing fancy about this. He's rearing back and saying, hit me if you can.
Good old-fashioned hardball.
I love it. Little buzz right now here at the ballpark. The 0-2 misses outside. Fastball again at 95. Freeman with 84 RBIs this year to go along with 15 home runs. Here's a 1-2. Crushes it out to deep right center field, and this ball is gone. On a 1-2 pitch, the Braves strike first. Freddie Freeman with home run number 16.
Good hitters can hit fastballs, and that's what Freeman does. Really didn't seem like a bad pitch from Shelby Miller. Obviously feeling his oats here in the first inning and just rearing back and firing it. And he thought he could throw the ball by Freddie Freeman on the inner half, but he timed it perfectly. And there's Atlanta's power showing up, Dan.
The 16th home run allowed by Shelby Miller. Here's Chris Johnson, who's hitting .332, 10 home runs. He's driven in 57 and enjoying his finest season in the big leagues. 0-2.
What you'd hate to see from Shelby Miller is for him to back off the aggressiveness that he showed to the first 2 hitters. Hey, that's going to happen. Keep going after him. Still believe you could throw it by anybody. Don't start picking.
I thought that happened in his last home start. A couple plays not made behind him. Got a little cautious, and it seemed like he pulled back from the aggressiveness that had set the stage for that night. 1-2 pitch. The cutter misses outside, evens it up at 2-2. Adam Wainwright major league leading, 5th complete game of the season last night. Only other pitcher with 4 is Chris Sale. The 2-2. Full count.
Enjoyed Chris Carpenter sharing words about his teammate in our open. Really enjoyed that.
Me too. And a 3-2 pitch is lifted out to center. John Jay. Freddie Freeman and the Braves get on the board here in the top of the first. His 16th home run comes on a 1-2 delivery. Braves on top. Run and a 1-run lead for Atlanta. The Cardinals coming up in the home half of the first with Matt Carpenter leading the way. Then Beltron and Holiday, Craig, Molina, Jay, Long, Descalso, and the pitcher Shelby Miller. The Dobbs defense, Schaefer, Upton, and Upton in the outfield. Johnson and Simmons on the left side. Elliott Johnson and Freddie Freeman on the right side. Brian McCann, 6-time All-Star behind the plate. Julio Teheran is on the mound, and this will be start number 25 for the young fireballer.
7 solid innings against the Cardinals in Atlanta, only 2 hits. And he has had one of the best starts all season against St. Louis. Really a bit conveniently wild. He only walked 1 batter in that game, but he was not always hitting his spots, and it was a time when the Cardinals were not swinging the bat well as a team. So we'll see if they can get to him here tonight.
Here's Matt Carpenter. Cardinals have 7 consecutive games in which they've had 2 or more doubles. Longest streak since July of 2012. They did that 9 straight games in 2012. And Matt Carpenter leading the way in that department. 40-plus doubles this season and a catalyst this year. 9 home runs, 64 RBIs. At third base tonight, Freeze on the bench, and Wong at second base. The Cardinals wearing their alternate uniform here on this Saturday night. And recently, article just came out, ESPN voted the Cardinals uniform as the best in all professional sports, and they said what put him over the top was this alternate jersey. Gave a lot of credit to Cardinals president Bill DeWitt for putting this together and all the time that went into the logo, making the actual birds that are on the bat a little bit bigger with this logo here in this 2013 season. Here's a 1-2.
Talked about the doubles of Matt Carpenter wearing that slick Cardinal jersey. Wonder if he knows who Rogers Hornsby is. We've been talking about him chasing Hornsby, who holds the team record for doubles for second baseman at 46. You think the average Cardinal knows much about Rogers Hornsby? I wouldn't think so. Long time ago.
And Carpenter hits it down the right field line, and we are tied. A long home run into right. That sets the tone. Carpenter with home run number 10. Could flat out play this game.
Crowd was buzzing in the first inning, Dan, when Shelby Miller came out firing fastballs, and they started buzzing again.
And Beltron hits it sharply to first, and there's one away. Let's go back to the home run for Carpenter.
And this is why they're buzzing. Well, I don't know if we knows who Rogers Hornsby is, and right now it really doesn't matter. A little more than a double there. Teammates' reaction. Glad he's on our side.
Here's Holiday. The long home run last night, number 17. He now has 64 RBIs and hitting .284 this year. That home run was measured at 432 feet. The 6th inning, the second longest home run by a Cardinal at Busch Stadium this year. The other was Matt Adams. Holiday is out number 2. And it brings in Alan Craig.
The grip of Tehran. And the delivery, it's a cutter that doesn't cut much. Tried to get that in on the hands of Carpenter and left it out over the plate just a bit, spinning. And you can see Matt's eyes light up. We talked earlier this week about how easy it is to hit a bad cutter, relatively speaking. And that's what Carpenter was able to handle there.
Alan Craig at 309. The 12 home runs, 90 RBIs. And a bad cutter, as you explained last night, very flat. You don't have any type of downward movement. And as you said, you described it as a BP fastball.
Not quite as hard as your regular fastball, so a hitter has a little more time to react. It's not a changeup. Doesn't fool you that way. It just spins, but doesn't break. And as long as the hitter doesn't kind of jam himself on a bad cutter, it's a good pitch to take a rip at.
The 2-0 pitch. Molina is on deck. And that is ball 4. In steps Yadier Molina. Molina with doubles 36 and 37 last night. Second most in a single season by a Cardinals catcher. And he should get to Ted Simmons, who had 40 doubles back in 1978. What a year Yadi's had. That floats in there for a strike. It was also a 3-hit night for Yadi. 13th time he's done that this 2013 campaign. His average at 337 now. 0-1 pitch on its way. spoiled that pitch. Spread the wealth, and it's different names in the major offensive categories for both these teams. Johnson, Upton, and Freeman. For the Cardinals, it's Yachty, then Beltron and Craig. Average home runs and RBIs. Many times it's one all the way down.
I prefer it when it's spread out.
Yeah.
Makes you more balanced. The home run, by the way, 424 feet off the bat of Matt Carpenter, and the second time he's led off a game with a home run.
And he blew it right by him, a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. A home run by Freeman. The Cardinals answer with a home run from Carpenter. We're tied up at 1. And a weekend that's loaded with giveaways. The Pirates will be in town. And a showdown for the Central Division beginning on that Friday night, September 6th. And it's fireworks here at the ballpark. The next day, it's the Willie McGee jersey giveaway. Cardinals also will have a pennant giveaway on that Sunday, so don't want to miss it. Coming in from out of town, make a weekend of it. The Pirates in town 6th, 7th, and 8th of September. That hat is the giveaway, the Fredbird giveaway, the cap for the kids here at the ballpark tonight. First pitch is taken low, underway here in the top of the second. It's Brian McCann on Drelton Simmons and B.J. Upton. Well, 2 months ago, you'd have a game that starts at 6:15. And the right fielder would be in the sun for about half the game. We are approaching now September. So sun shining a little bit differently than what we saw in the middle of the summer. Still very much a sun field in right. And that's taken for a strike.
Remember a year ago the Cardinal players were complaining about the early start, especially the ones earlier in the summer where the sun was a problem for 4 or 5 innings of a game. They felt as if it was affecting the game. And recall Lance Berkman talking about it actually being dangerous was the word he used to describe it.
Said he couldn't see the baseball.
Well, that'd be dangerous.
A 2-2 pitch to Brian McCann. Here it is. Popped up. And playable as Carpenter calls for it. And he makes the catch. The banks of the Mississippi and the shadow of the Gateway Arch. The gateway to the west. Dan and Rick with you. 90 degrees, muggy tonight. It's still a very nice evening for baseball. Here's Simmons, the shortstop. Made an outstanding catch. A foul ball last night, showed off his range and just how good a glove man he is. Also has a little pop with 11 home runs. Hits it to short. Descalso. 2 away. And in steps B.J. Upton. Pete Kozma, single digits in hits in the month of August. It's been a rough go for him. Descalso is seeing more of the playing time, in particular when right-handers are on the mound. Getting more of a platoon at shortstop.
Yeah, we have not heard the word platoon come out of Mike Matheny's mouth or even John Mozeliak, but what he does say is we're going to play the best guys every day to give us a chance to win. And the way it's worked out of late is that you're seeing the left-handers against right-handed pitching, and you're going to see more righties than lefties. And that means more Colton Long. It means more Daniel Descalso. But I wouldn't give up on those two guys.
1 ball, 1 strike on B.J. Upton. 184 average. 8 home runs, 21 RBIs. Look at that slugging percentage at .294. He's had a couple of streaks of 30-plus hitless in a row.
Danny's 7th in the National League in strikeouts, and he hasn't played all the time. He's only had a little over 300 at-bats, and he struck out 122 times.
You wonder if he just put a lot of pressure on himself, signing the deal, and then things snowballed from there, and he can't find a way to get out of it. Goodbye.
Maybe a little less tint on those glasses might help.
3rd strikeout for Shelby Miller. By Schnucks, your neighborhood hometown grocer. And the Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the Quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. This ball game started with a home run from Freddie Freeman in the first. Braves now have 22 in the month of August. It's tied for 2nd in the National League this month. The Cardinals come back with their own. A leadoff homer from Matt Carpenter. And Matt now with 10 and 65 RBIs. How about that? 65 RBIs, 10 home runs. Majority of that from the leadoff spot.
John
BJC difference maker. Here's John Jay.
And here's his August. 18 RBIs in the month. Average over 360. And he's just in a groove right now. Red Cheney's talking about him at the batting cage earlier this homestand, thinking that There's a guy that really knows how to square up the baseball and to use the entire field. Red really likes his approach as a hitter. He said you're not going to keep him down but for so long.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Jay. Red said something interesting to me about Jay. I said, what do you see with him right now is the difference? He said, I can hear it. He said, listen how the ball is coming off his bat right now. It's a different sound than what we've heard the last 4 months. But Jay lifts it down the right field line but yanks it foul. And that's what you're talking about, squaring it up.
Just sounds different. When you're jammed, you just kind of get that little clunk sound, or if it's off the end of the bat, it's kind of a hollow sound. And when those guys square it up, it's a crack. I mean, it is a crack of the bat that is unmistakable. And the big power hitters, their crack of the bat is even louder than the normal guy.
Here's a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're underway here in the home half of the second. It's Jay, then Colton Wong, and Descalso. Found it interesting that Mike Matheny puts 3 lefties in a row in this lineup. Many times you want to stagger those, especially now with the lefty specialist that many teams have. However, he can counter late innings with the new addition of Wong. You've got Freese on the bench. That could be a difference maker too.
I'm sure when he's making his lineup, he's thinking, well, I want to have Beltron where he is. I've got to have Carpenter where he is. Holiday, Craig, Molina. So it's not so much where you put the lefties. It's where you want the right-handers who just happen to be right-handed.
The 2-2. Jay hits it on a couple of hops to second. And there's one away. It's Elliott Johnson at second base. No Jason Hayward in this lineup. No Dan Uggla. Uggla, their normal second baseman.
Uggla had LASIK eye surgery. He was having trouble picking up the baseball and was not seeing the strike zone at all. He was letting pitches go he thought were balls and just finally just kind of gave up. It said, I got to get my eyes fixed. Vision's so important for a hitter, and he's kind of reported since starting to take batting practice again that now he knows why he was striking out so much.
Colton Wong at 238, looking for his first home run, first RBI. 1-0 pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. Third baseman Johnson in a few steps down at third. Outfield is straight away. It's a look at the future and the present with Colton Wong. And it could make for a very interesting offseason and how the Cardinals deal with Wong, Carpenter, and David Freese.
This is not a trial for Colton Wong's benefit. This is bringing up a guy to help spark a team that's trying to make a playoff run. We believe in him now.
Let's see how aggressive Cardinals want to be with Colton Wong as he gives this team an element of speed. Tehran, the second walk, and here is Descalso, the 8th place hitter.
Wong was only thrown out 1 time in AAA, 20 for 21 stealing bases. So not only is he fast, he's smart when it comes to the stolen base. Braves very familiar with that. I'm sure they'll hold him close and pay a lot of attention to him.
Leaning towards second, not running, and the pitch is taken for a ball. And out to visit McCann with Tehran. And Rick, I'm curious, in this conversation here, I'm sure it's about, hey, let's focus now. Let's get the 8th place hitter. Keep an eye on Wong. You have to do that. But as a pitcher, you were a pitcher, having a base stealer at first, how that affects what you do coming to the plate and dealing with a hitter.
Very possible that's the conversation. Also possible that the home plate umpire told McCann to tell the pitcher, you better stop. That was close. And that's also something umpires will do if a pitcher comes to a set not quickly enough.
Ground ball, backhanded by Freeman, and they get one. And safe at first. Almost an outstanding double play turn, but still very good play to get the lead man. It started with Freddie Freeman, and then Simmons, the nifty glove work, and made it close at first. Freeman just off the bag.
Freeman at first wasn't sure which way he wanted to attack that double play. Step on the base, throw to second, or throw, then get the return throw from Simmons. And after making the decision, he did make a very nice play. That was an outstanding attempt. Now he gets that throw into dirt. Simmons showing his versatility and just couldn't quite find the bag.
Extends the inning to Shelby Miller. Looks at a strike. Wainwright was able to help his cause last night with his second career sacrifice fly, the other coming back in 2008. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Shelby. 0-2.
You kind of know where the base is. You feel for it. It's there somewhere. You got to make sure you catch the ball first, which Freeman did. The bigger mistake is to not catch the baseball and have the runner Descalzo at second.
The 0-2 taken high by Shelby. Milwaukee and Cincinnati playing in game 2 of their series, and the Brewers lead it 2-0. That's in the second inning. Peralta against Arroyo. Arroyo looking for win number 13. 1-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Shelby Miller. Second strikeout for the young right-hander for Atlanta. We played 2, and we're tied up 1-1. Up at foxsports.com/fantasy draft. And on Thursday, they'll take on the Midwest Girls, hosted by Patrick O'Neill and a fantasy expert in Ryan Fowler. Draft kicks off August 29th, 8 streaming live on foxsports.com/fantasy draft. Shelby Miller with 3 strikeouts tonight, and he is now up to 148 this year. The rookie record is 194, held by Rick Ankiel. It's a switch inning, Elliott Johnson.
You in a fantasy football league, Dan?
I am.
I thought you would be. I'd be shocked if you said no.
Why?
Because you love all sports. Just figured you'd like to follow the details, and I think it's a great way to follow a sport. Frankly, we do it with our family as well for football, and I think it's an outstanding thing to do.
Popped up into shallow left. Yeah, mine has nothing to do with family time. I'm just trying to put food on the table, Rick.
You're trying to win.
Dominate my league.
I'm trying to connect. You're trying to win. Now that I'm not shocked about either.
No, me neither. This is the young rookies and what they're doing today and what they've done this season. These four are going tonight and again today. The lefty for the Dodgers went this afternoon against Boston. You have Fernandez, Tehran, and Miller. Pretty good class right there.
Ryu not as young as the other three on this list. Fernandez actually having a bit of an innings cap, and we may not see him much longer. But I know you believe, Dan, he may be the best of the bunch.
He was just so good that Friday night against the Cardinals. And we've seen Harvey and some of the others, but to me, Fernandez, the upside for the Florida Marlins with him, Jacob Turner, Evaldi. Starts with pitching, and they've got some of that. Tehran to Descalso, and he commits an error. So E6 on the play, and we're back to the top of the lineup.
Tehran swings the bat pretty well. Hits that ball up the middle, and Daniel, once he booted it, tried to hurry and then couldn't get a handle on it. That's his 12th error. A bit surprising that Daniel has had a high number of errors this year, and they've all been on plays like that where he's been maybe a little bit too quick with his hands. Normally a guy you can count on, and he certainly plays multiple positions and feel good about him being out there, but he does have a high number of errors for him.
One out and a runner at first, and the pitch is hit out of play. Jordan Schaefer struck out swinging first time up. To me, when I watch Descalso defensively, at least just from afar, he looks most comfortable at third. Nearly won the Gold Glove when the Cardinals won the World Series that year. A lot of double switches late with Tony La Russa, and you saw Daniel come in and play third.
Smooth at third, reacting, and I think we were surprised just how good his arm was at third base too. He throws very well from the third base spot. I think in the middle of the infield, you know, there's this balance of being quick but not hurrying that we talk about quite a bit. And I almost think he's just a little bit on the hurry side with what he's trying to do with his hands.
Here's an 0-2 pitch to Schaefer. Out of play. Big gap in right center field. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Take it for a ball. Francisco Liriano going against Tim Lincecum tonight. Lincecum only 6 wins on the year. And Liriano will be in the conversation for Cy Young Award. Not saying he's going to win it. I think you're looking at Kershaw, Wainwright, then everybody else. Waits on the pitch, hits it out to center field. Catch made by Jay. Right fielder Justin Upton struck out back in the first inning. This game started with back-to-back Ks and then a home run on a 1-2 pitch by Freddie Freeman. Cardinals have come back with a home run of their own, Matt Carpenter. Upton with 24 long balls this year. Remember how he started this season? 8 home runs, 16 RBIs in 16 August games. Basically the same way that he began. Identical. Gave the Braves a brief lead the other night. Cardinals came back, eventually took game 1. A couple of seasons ago, he had 31 home runs with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is Jay. Makes the catch. Miller pitches around the air. In all aspects of their minor league system.
Cardinals have had 19 rookies in 2013, and they're working to develop all three. You think about Matt Adams as a guy you're trying to develop. Joe Kelly doing something with Adam Wainwright, a little dance. Trying to develop Joe Kelly. I guess that's part of it. And on the closer side, you might say Trevor Rosenthal is a closer of the future. And hard to say which is more important, and be interested what our fans have to say.
Well, you're a guy that coached in the minor leagues. What's the toughest to develop of those three?
Well, I think it's tough to develop a starting pitcher because there's a lot to that. There's a guy has to have command of three pitches to be a starting pitcher. If you are going to be a closer, you can be a two-pitch guy. And a lot of times you get a guy with great ability and you're just not sure he's going to be able to get that third pitch. You put him in the bullpen and he flourishes, and we've seen that before. But a starting pitcher has to have a bigger repertoire, and they also have to be able to go 100 to 120 pitches. And so I think starting pitching, really good, top-notch starting pitching, is hard to develop. And power hitters, fairly rare as well.
Wainwright last night, 128 pitches. Only 6 Cardinals have done that since 2002. Gone that deep into a pitch count. And you wonder how that could affect his next start. Guys, creatures of habit, they rarely go that deep. Does it really play a factor now 4 days from now?
I'm not against the pitch count conversation. I think it's important to have it as a factor and think about it and use it. But your eyes tell you something about Adam Wainwright, too, yesterday, because he was throwing 93 miles an hour with movement and life, and he didn't look tired at all. And so if Wainwright was struggling, his arm slot was off, he may have been he could be at 60 pitches and be done. And you just have to kind of watch the mechanics along with the pitch count. And I would say Wainwright looked free and easy in the ninth yesterday, and I don't think he'll miss a beat.
7 straight starts, 7 or more innings from Wainwright. As Carpenter hits it out of play. Wainwright has gone deeper into a game just one time as far as pitch counts are concerned. 130 pitches back in 2009. And last night, 128. 2-2 the count here on Matt Carpenter. It's Carpenter, Beltron, and Holiday for St. Louis. Taken outside. Carpenter wearing a protective gear on the front shin. And a 3-2 is on its way to the Cardinal leadoff man. Got him. Strikeout number 3. Brings in Beltron, who grounded out sharply his first time up.
One of the things I was looking for with both these young pitchers, Dan, we mentioned they're 22 years of age. They're still developing. They're still young. And both of them giving up home runs early in this game. How do you react to that? You know, it's not their first rodeo. They've made a number of starts here. They're both working on start number 25, but you still wonder with a young guy, are they going to start overthrowing, start picking, or are they going to still just kind of doing what they do? And so far, so good for both these young pitchers.
The mental aspect, is that the toughest thing you think with young pitchers in particular?
There's no question about that, and that's where minor league coaches make their money, which I would say is not very much.
You would know.
And knowing the guys that are still doing it, it's, you know, there's not a lot of investment in minor league coaches in my mind the way it should be, and others would agree on that. And you know, you don't really make a lot of money in the minor leagues, and it costs teams a lot of money to have minor league systems, but those coaches are critical to help young pitchers to develop, and players for that matter, the right mental approach to this game, and that just takes time. It's conversations on the bus, at the hotel, standing around in the outfield during batting practice. You know, there's a lot of conversations that go on about baseball throughout the course of a year, and a coach can really help a player think right about what his job is.
The 2-2, here it comes. Spoiled again by Beltron. Chris Maloney, a long-time coach and manager in the minor leagues.
I saw two former teammates of mine I haven't seen in 20 years, Jeff Keener and Billy Lyons. They're here as part of the alumni night at the ballpark. Plenty of former Cardinals here. And the three of us, guess who we talked about? George Kissel. And the sayings that he had and the moments that we had, him teaching us. Jeff is now a high school principal in Murfreesboro, Illinois. And you think, I learned from George Kissel, now I pass it on to other people, just principles of life, not just baseball, but of life. And coach is extremely important.
John Mabry told me the only reason he's coaching is because of George Kissel. He said George Kissel took him aside and said, you will have to give back to this game, so be ready to be a coach. He said, I felt I owed it to George to do this. Beltron out to deep right. You can't coach that. It's pure talent. Launches it into the seats in right. The second Cardinal home run. And it's 2-1.
Sure looked a lot like Matt Carpenter's home run, didn't it?
Sure did. High trajectory to it. And here is Holiday. So the Cardinals on top for the first time tonight. A 2-1 lead here in the home half of the third. Here's an 0-1 pitch. Taken just a bit low. Holiday red hot for the better part of 2 months. Go back to the 5th of July. He's hitting .331, 23 RBIs, 6 home runs in that time. Pulls it foul.
2 long home runs. Spinning cutter, middle in, gets the head out. Carlos Beltron, same pitch, same spot, same result.
One-two pitch to Matt Holliday in the dirt.
Dan, we talked about the alumni being here. I understand Gene Gieselman, our former trainer, is here at the ballpark today. Glad to have Gene here. And Whitey Herzog has been spotted. Bernard Gilkey, Tom Lawless. I saw Kenny Reitz before the game, and I know there are others, just haven't seen them all. And kind of nice to me to have these Cardinals here at the ballpark enjoying each other's company and having a blast. And it's just wonderful that the Cardinals do that a number of times a year. They just have the alumni treated here to a suite. And as we like to say, once a Cardinal, always a Cardinal.
I know for the Blues, this has become a big city for those that have retired from the game, meaning a number of the former players deciding to stay here. And I think for the Cardinals, it's the same way.
75 former Cardinals are within the general surrounding area of St. Louis. Says something about the community, doesn't it?
Sure does. Swing and a miss. How the players are treated once they're here and then afterwards. MLB.com at bat, celebrating 5 years as your #1 mobile app for live baseball. It's available for iPhone, iPad, Android, and BlackBerry 10. Visit Cardinals.com for details.
What I'm really glad about, Dan, is the fact that you are not going over to that booth asking them questions about me. Some of the guys that I played with for a long time, I might be a little nervous about that, frankly.
You carry yourself such a gentleman, Rick, and I'm sure that even though you were a competitive sort, you were such a gentleman.
Stay right where you are.
I'm not dripping with sarcasm at all. I play golf with you. I know.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you do know.
I know these things.
Uh-huh.
Missed his spot, and it's 2-1. Now, Chris Maloney will tell you, though, his relationships that he has in this game, so many of them built in the minor leagues. Lifelong relationships with former players and those that he's coached with. And it's popped up off the bat of Craig and taken there by the shortstop Simmons.
Pitch game so far, 2-1 St. Louis through 3. Whitey Herzog and Mary Lou. Always good to have them at the ballpark, and you know Whitey is going to have a ton of stories, as he always does. He's such a wonderful entertainer.
Here is Freeman. I'm not sure if he is watching tonight, but Whitey was the honorary chair of Norm Stewart's golf tournament that I emceed a couple of weekends ago. I know Norm is a little bit under the weather, and if he's watching tonight, I want him to know we're thinking of him. On a hop to second base, and again positioned perfectly is Colton Wong.
Freeman got him last time, but Shelby went right at him again with a fastball. Middle again this time. A one hopper to Colton Wong, who was playing the shift on Freddie Freeman. Mike Matheny saying something very interesting about the shift today. He was asked the question, are you shifting less this year than you did a year ago? And his answer is yes, and it's because of our pitchers. We've found out that our pitchers, some of them, are actually frustrated by the shift because they feel like they can't use one side of the plate or the other. And he said, we'll listen to guys, we'll tell them what we want to do and what the statistics say, but if they have some kind of a violent reaction to it, we listen to them because they're in charge. Much like a pitcher is going to get a suggestion about do you throw a slider or a fastball, but the pitcher still has to decide. Catcher may give a sign, but the pitcher's game.
I like to hear that.
And I think it's great. Now he said, well, we're going to give more leeway to the veteran guys than the younger guys. But if a pitcher's uncomfortable because his shortstop's not playing short and he feels like that messes up the way he wants to attack a hitter, then we won't move him. And I found that very interesting that Mike had kind of come to that conclusion in his second year as a manager.
The 2-2. Taken just outside. A 3-2 pitch, and that's hit out of play. Just joining us, the Cardinals have a 2-1 lead. Solo home runs from Carpenter and the other by Beltron last half inning, and it's added up to a 2-1 lead.
Think about the reality of that. You put Colton Wong on the right side of the infield, you bring your shortstop over there, and all of a sudden you feel like you got to throw a pitch on the outer half of the plate because you can't just stay on one side and the guy hits the ball the other way. I mean, that would be incredibly frustrating.
You know, the team that's really used a ton of shifts this year, and we talked about it a lot when they were in town last time through, Pittsburgh. Clint Hurdle was not a big proponent of using that data that every team gets and really breaks it down about the shifts, but they've done more and more of that this year, and it's paid off. Tough play here for Carpenter, and not in time. And Johnson hits the deck. Can ill afford to lose another play out of this lineup.
Seems to be okay, and he's actually asking Alan Craig if he's okay. Carpenter decides not to barehand it, to use the glove.
Oh.
And so he kind of stumbles on the base, then kicks Alan Craig. Here's kind of the misstep with the right foot, and that forces him to kick Craig with his left foot. And that's a little bit about what that apology is all about, but probably not the first time that's happened to Alan Craig either.
And now it's McCann. Popped out first time up and looks at a strike. McCann, a free agent to be after this season, so Atlanta has a decision to make. This outstanding catcher, been very good for a number of years. 29 years of age.
And the slight shift on McCann. Up the middle is the shortstop, Descalzo.
Always find it interesting, too, with a left-handed batter, how a first baseman will hold that runner on. And this particular case, Alan Craig is off the bag by about 3 steps. If you watch Matt Adams, you won't see that as much. Different way to do it, but all first basemen vary in how they do this. But this has become more prominent too in the last 10 to 15 years.
I think with a guy that you know is not going to steal, this is how you do it.
Sure.
And Johnson's not going to run. 0 attempts this year for a reason. And so what you do is you give yourself a little more range, but you kind of semi-hold him on. You're at least in the vicinity so he doesn't get a walking lead or an extended lead. I'm all for the shift depending upon the hitter. If it's Norichika Aoki, I would never put a shift on him because he can hit the ball wherever he wants to hit the ball. He directs the ball well. Yadier Molina directs the ball well. If a guy's a one-dimensional hitter, a pull hitter, then I'm all for it.
A 1-2 pitch to McCann. Lifted in the air out to left center. That'll stay in the ballpark. That was a changeup. Catch made by Jay. Johnson back to the bag at first. There's 2 down. The Bacon Habanero Ranch Quarter Pounder is topped with white cheddar, thick cut applewood smoked bacon, tomato, lettuce, and a spicy cool habanero ranch sauce. All on a bakery style bun. It's mouth-watering for a reason, and it's only at McDonald's. Here's Simmons, who grounded out to short.
Checking on the miles per hour difference between the changeup and the fastball of Shelby Miller, Dan, and 8 to 10 typical, sometimes up to 12. His is about 11, but we've seen 2 very good swings at Shelby Miller changeups that have resulted in hard hit balls to center field, and kind of concerned about that particular pitch. He's got to be careful with that tonight. I think he's either throwing it too slow, which could be part of it, or just maybe he's telegraphing it a bit. But both swings, Brian McCann right there, and the other was Jordan Schaefer that came in the 3rd inning. Very good swings at those changeups. So I would be hesitant about the count to use him on, or at least throw the ball further down in the zone.
So 60 pitches tonight, 40 strikes. 2-1 lead here in the top of the 4th. If the Braves cannot come back in this ball game, gives you an idea of how well they have played at home. They actually would drop then below 500 on the road. At 33 and 34 if they would lose tonight. They have a total of 18 losses at home, and that's what Freddie Gonzalez this past week has been preaching to his club. They went on a tear when St. Louis was in Atlanta and haven't looked back. Opened up a 13-game lead in their division. They said, we are fighting for home field advantage. That's the biggest aspect of what I can implore my team to do. Fight for home field advantage.
Number that jumps out to you on that graphic is the high ERA on the road, and you're wondering, well, why does that happen, or what's the problem? And the runs per game is down, yes, but the ERA significantly higher on the road, 3.7.
That's chopped foul. Working from that first base side of the rubber. 1-2 pitch. Here it comes. He got him. It's a fastball up in his eyes and swung on and missed by Simmons. Strikeout number 4 for Shelby Miller. hotels that give you home field advantage and an extraordinary view of Cardinals baseball. For reservations and information, number to call 421-1776 or visit HiltonSt.Louis.com. Tehran is finishing up his warm-up tosses. We move to the home half of the fourth. It's Molina, Jay, and Wong. Last night for Yadier Molina, his 79th career 3-hit game. And it's 39th all-time among catchers. He's starting to move up some exclusive lists when you think about where he's at and the kind of offensive production he's had this season and now in his career. The Cardinals have not had to worry about, for the most part, protection at the catcher's position. All these great prospects that have come up, well, you don't hear many about the catcher's spot because the Cardinals have a mainstay there, so more of the focus has been on pitching or some of the other areas that they need to address, and then they signed Yadi long term.
We talked about it recently, Dan, but there'll be a time, and all of us are hoping that it's no time soon, where you may have to start thinking about Yadi playing first base. We think he can play third base. Actually, I think he can play anywhere. I mean, maybe be able to pitch. The Army's got, but we don't want
to watch that.
That would be fun. Maybe before his career is over. But, you know, you get to that point, maybe you start thinking about developing a catcher that can catch every day or at least spell him a bit. But right now, you know, he's still durable enough to be out there catching as many games as he is and more valuable there.
And it brings in John Jay. Julio Tehran. You see what he's done with runners in scoring position. He is very good. Just a 192 average against him.
Well, we have a little wrist war going on here, don't we?
And here is John Jay.
Cardinals have been great at that all season long. Runners in scoring position. Tehran, the strength of his.
I want to follow up on what you were talking about with those defensive shifts. The two that have seen it the most, on the other side, it's Adams,
right,
and Beltron. And the Cardinals have seen that used against them this year more times than ever. And you ask players, have you thought about dropping down a bunt, especially when that third baseman is well off the line and you're a left-handed hitter? And Beltron says to me, I can't worry about where they're positioned.
Yeah, right.
I'm the kind of guy that I'm just going to do my thing, and if the ball is on the outside part of the plate, I take it that way, or I turn on an inside pitch.
And there are players that feel that way, as we've mentioned before, even about knowing what pitch is coming. Some players want to react. They don't want to overthink it. And if you're worried about the defense, that may be in the same category of overthinking. And I think with Beltron and Adams, you're both. In both those cases, you're also concerned about them going away from their strength, which is what the defense may be tempting you to do. You get Beltron to lay down a bunt or try to hit the ball the other way, well, you take away maybe the power potential that you would prefer.
Cardinals have talked about, with John Jay, his weight back, hands back, weight back. And even when he's taking pitches, just how locked in he is. Last pitch, a good example of that. 3-2 in the dirt, gets away, and a walk to the Cardinals center fielder. FoxSportsMidwest.com. It's your home for Cardinals news all season long. Game previews, recaps, latest updates from Stan McNeil and Ben Fredrickson. It's all at FoxSportsMidwest.com. So it's a one-out walk to Jay, brings in Wong, and Tehran has walked 3.
And yet he's ranked 11th in the National League with just 2 walks per 9 innings. Uncharacteristic for him. In fact, he'd only issued 19 walks in his last 12 starts.
Runner at first is Jay. They pitch out thinking maybe he's going, maybe even a hit and run.
So far the walks haven't hurt him, but we know how often they do hurt.
It will catch up with you
eventually.
Cardinals have a solo home run tonight from Carpenter. A solo home run tonight from Beltron. The 1-0 pitch. Carlos Beltron, all that time in the National League East, he's played, including tonight, 109 games against the Atlanta Braves. And that's his 21st home run to go along with 28 doubles. So he has had great success against Atlanta in his career. And so is Matt Holliday in 57 games. The 2-0 pitch to Wong. Very short lead at first by Jay. Two and one.
Julio Teheran leads the league in pickoffs with 8. And usually you have a left-hander leading that category. That means he has quick hands and quick feet.
The 2-1. 2-2. Want to remind folks that the game on Monday night is at 6:05. And Cincinnati will be in town. Tyler Lyons will get that start.
Teheran also leads the league in hit by pitch with 13. Kind of an odd,
very much so,
connection.
Not many walks, but yet hits a lot of guys.
Hit him, pick him off.
It's one way to get him out. Well, Tyler Lyons goes on Monday. The Reds are just a game above 500 against left-handed starters this year. They are 51-34 against right-handers. That's part of the equation with Lyons. Guys like Bruce and Votto and some of the big bats that they have that hit from the left side.
Looking forward to watch Lyons again. Dan, last time we saw him out of the bullpen, he had that sharp slider back that we saw in his first 2 starts, and kind of had gotten a bit flat, a bit kind of rounded in his subsequent starts. So I hope he can kind of translate that into 6 or 7 good innings of work.
See if they start the runner here on 3-2 with 1 out. There goes Jay, and the pitch is grounded to first, and by starting Jay they avoid the double play. Two outs, and it brings in Descalso with first base open.
Here's the hit and run. There's a hole that was actually on the left side. The shortstop was covering, but still a pretty decent hole on the right side, and that's where the pitch was. So Wong tried to pull it through that hole, hit it right at Freeman.
All these doubles hit this season. Overlooked has been John Jay. 23rd double last night. He's now one shy of his career high in that category. So he has started to pick it up. And the Braves not taking any chances. The pitch to Shelby Miller. Potentially walk Descalso to get to the pitcher.
I think this is the right move here.
Will go down as the 4th walk issued by Teheran.
Freddie Gonzalez.
Both these managers, Rick, you think about what they've had to battle through to get their own respect in many ways. Bobby Cox, Tony La Russa. Goodness.
They can share some stories about taking over for a legend, can't they?
Yes. Bobby Cox was in town at the Missouri Athletic Club this past week, along with Tommy Lasorda and Whitey Herzog. They held a luncheon and a panel together. Unfortunately, those three, they just can't talk very much.
Well, there's not enough hours in the week to have that done right.
Stretched into the dinner.
You get those 4 there. I mean, are you kidding me?
Then they had coffee and dessert, and that was just Tommy that was done.
Tommy is born to entertain.
Shelby Miller struck out looking first time up. Runners at first and second.
Heard Tommy told a story at that luncheon that one of his players was so slow he had him race a pregnant lady and he came in third.
It's pretty good. I like that.
Only Tommy Lasorda.
It's pretty good.
Hall of Fame comedian.
Uh-huh. One ball, one strike on Shelby Miller. Runners at first and second. I had to go in one time and interview Tommy Lasorda. I was the reporter for some of the national radio stations. And I'm the only guy in there. They had just gotten beat. And I asked him a couple questions. And I'm not kidding. I walked out with so much of Charlie Gito's spaghetti on my microphone. It was disgusting. And he did it on purpose. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
And a strikeout of Shelby Miller. So the move pays off, and that's 6 strikeouts for the young right-hander from Atlanta. We move to the 5th inning. Some of the high heat we've seen from Shelby Miller here tonight. You talked about it, Rick, that Shelby at times doesn't get away with it with some of those pitches that are high because he'll give up maybe a long ball. But tonight, despite the fact he's given up a home run, you've seen that high heat, and he has struck out 4.
And I think he has the life on that fastball that we saw in the early going. It just kind of hops, especially the ball up in the strike zone. And you know, we always talk about, well, he got it up. Well, that's a problem. Well, when it's up there up, hitters can't catch up to it. I mean, the up that's a problem is the up that's belt high to waist high. That's where players get the good swings. Freddie Freeman had a good swing at a pitch that was about belt high. But you get up around the letters, and you can't catch up to that 95-mile-an-hour fastball, especially when it has life.
Time is called. B.J. Upton struck out looking first time up. We were looking at his stats coming into play tonight, not just this year, but in his career. Never been a high average guy, but does give you a little pop. This year, only 8 home runs, and he can steal a bag or two. Always been in that 35 to 40 range.
just hasn't been on base enough.
Yeah.
But I think we were both surprised, Dan, that he's been typically, despite the big contract he signed, a .240 hitter with about 20 home runs, 70 RBIs, 40 stolen bases. But when you're hitting 184 and striking out as much as he is, second time today, 124th time of the season, you're not going to get any stolen bases.
Year one of a contract that'll pay him $75 million. So you want to be a GM and make those decisions. And when a guy decides to have a bad year, you hope it's not on your watch. In the air out to center. John Jay with room near the track, backs up, makes the catch. Johnson is retired for out number 2. What's on tap? It's game 4 of this series tomorrow. We'll see Chris Johnson and Yachty battle for the NL batting championship. That'll continue tomorrow. Budweiser, what's on tap? The Cards and Braves will come your way at 12:30. And the matchup for tomorrow, Lance Lynn and Mike Minor. Minor very tough on the Cardinals. First time we saw him, he's 12-5. Tehran has walked 4. Those have not come back to bite him in this game. Meanwhile, an error by Descalso when Tehran was up back in the 3rd, and that didn't come back to haunt the Cardinals.
We talked about a key to last night's game being have the lead through 6 innings if you can, because the bullpen's so good against Atlanta. And we've got new keys today, but guess what? Yesterday's key is still true. Atlanta's bullpen is still good.
Colton Wong makes the play. Braves go 1-2-3. Midway through 5. Cardinals on top. Friday night fireworks night. The Saturday night a Willie McGee replica jersey giveaway. Then the pennant giveaway on Sunday. The Pirates will be in town the 6th, the 7th, the 8th of September. Should be a fun series. Hope you're here. A 2-1 lead for St. Louis. Our buddy Tony West working hard. There's Tony. It's the steady cam. So Tehran finishing up his warm-up tosses. If you're just joining us, the Cardinals fell behind after a half inning of play. Freddie Freeman, a solo home run on a 1-2 pitch back in the first. Then it was this man, Matt Carpenter, tying it up in the bottom of the first with a solo home run, his 10th. And St. Louis went on top with a solo home run by Beltron in the third. That's the scoring. It's Carpenter, Beltron, and Holiday. So Carpenter with a home run and a strikeout, and looks at a strike. Out distribution tonight. The fastball has been a key for both these young right-handers. And last night it was really the cutter for Adam Wainwright. 11 outs with his cutter. We started that broadcast by saying the cutter had to be better, and it was.
Was Adam watching the broadcast?
He's channeling his inner Horton.
I think he's pretty much knows what he's doing, don't you?
Yes, I do. Simmons, nice play. I'm not messing with him.
He doesn't need our help.
Brings in Beltron.
Good location. Jams Carpenter. You ask a hitter what's the most important way to get me out. If it's going to be location, velocity, or movement, they will all say location. One point I thought movement might be close second, but you'll get an argument from hitters who certainly know better that if you get the right location and can keep moving the ball in and out and up and down, you know, velocity, sure it matters, and movement, yeah, it matters, but location is still king.
You know, there was a spot at the old Busch Stadium, 1 ball, 1 strike. There in Beltron with Holiday to follow, that the starting pitcher for the next night would sit behind home plate and chart. And I'm sure you did that a number of times.
Oh, yeah.
And now you have so much video and the hot and the cold charts. It really has changed a lot. So when you think about trying to get to location, now more than ever, guys know what those zones are.
Well, we had that information, kind of, and we had maybe just a rudimentary understanding of it. But the idea was, if you were the starter the next day, you'd get the best view by actually watching it and paying attention to that. So you'd be in your street clothes. I did it many times, sitting right behind home plate.
That's right.
And there were times where you would actually keep the gun too, and to see how fast everybody was throwing, and you would chart the particular pitch.
That's hit the other way, and Beltron late getting out of the batter's box. He was standing, and I'm not sure if he knew where that ball was. I guess he thought it was a foul ball and didn't realize it was still in play, and it's a single for Carlos. Let's take a look here.
This is odd. Here's the swing. Boom. Where'd it go? It's out of play. Where is it? Oh, nope, it's over there. And by that time, he knows all he's going to get is a single.
And he's the guy that missed, third the other day, or was that Molina?
No, he did. It was Carlos.
Yeah.
He missed third the first time and then went back and got it.
What's going on here?
I don't know.
Here's Holiday. But go back to what you were saying about charting pitches and how it is different but yet the same.
Every pitch you would write, let's say a slider low and away, you'd write SLA, you write the velocity on every hitter, and then when that information was all compiled at the end of the day, somebody would have to do that by hand. Basically, they would spend hours on that chart.
That gets away from McCann, so with 1 out, Beltron advances to second base where he should have been originally.
And the starter the next day, Dan, had a different chart, but you would keep that in the dugout. And that chart was the spray chart. So you would have a different color pen for every one of your pitchers on your team. Andujar, Bob Forsch, whoever it was, and you would chart a dotted line was a ground ball and a solid line was a live drive, and you would have a regular field that you would draw lines on, and Whitey kept those charts. And this, everybody did this. It wasn't just the Cardinals, but it was, you basically kept the spray chart yourself, and then the next day's starter would chart every pitch in particular, with the idea that you would learn how to attack the hitters that you would be facing the next night. That was the goal we had in mind.
Popped up to the right side out of play.
The technology has advanced that times 1,000, and it's a good thing. But you want to make sure players still have the experience of going pitch by pitch to learn something about the other team's
So I'm assuming then you relied heavily then on an advanced scout.
No question.
The video wasn't there. Not all games are on TV, so your advanced scouts were critical.
And that was covered in a meeting. The report would go through the manager because he didn't want the scout telling us directly. So the manager would kind of pick and choose what he wanted to say about that.
2-2.
Whitey always felt that when you bring a scout into a meeting, they'll say, hey, this guy's great. Boy, he can really hit the fastball. All he does is scare the guys. I mean, you got to find a way to deliver that news in the right way.
It's amazing now. We'll get on the plane with the guys, and many of their at-bats are on their iPad, loaded up, ready to go, or looking at the next day's starter. Game has changed a lot in that regard.
Find it more important to watch the next day's starter than to watch yourself, because you got to do that by feel to a degree, but you want to see how a pitcher attacks left-handers like you. The thing I'd want to see if I was Matt Carpenter is what does Tehran do to left-handers? How does he try to get lefties out? That's what I want to know.
It's another 2-2 pitch to Holiday. Beltron, the runner at second base. And Holiday is swing and a miss, and he strikes out. Tehran with 7 strikeouts tonight. We're introducing Crowd Goes Wild with Regis Philbin. Former athletes, journalists will join Regis. Crowd Goes Wild weekdays at 4 on Fox Sports 1. So you have a runner in scoring position. You've got the right guy up, and here's Craig. 0 for 1 with a walk. Craig takes a breaking ball. The way that Tehran has approached Alan Craig, it's almost as if he wants no piece of him. Previous 2 at-bats, everything has been away. Or if he goes in, he goes way in. 2-0. Only problem with that, you deal with a man on deck that makes some of the best adjustments in game of anybody in baseball, and that's Molina, who is 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts.
So at some point you'd say the success that Alan Craig is having this year, you have to at least give some credit to the fact that Yadi's hitting behind him.
A 2-0 pitch. Taken high, 3-0.
Where the team aspect comes into a lineup. Yadi does have 2 strikeouts here tonight, and maybe Tehran has a little bit more confidence at this point facing Molina than Craig, but certainly not an easy chore either way.
And that's way outside.
I think you're right, Dan.
Wanted nothing to do with him.
Nope.
Five walks issued by this righty. Risk and reward. Runners in scoring position and reward. Look at that.
Alan Craig at 438. He's now trailing Freddie Freeman. Craig has been leading that stat all season long. Tony Gwynn, now they've only been keeping this since 1974. Tony Gwynn had the best year, 459. How about Lenny Dykstra being on that list, 427 in 1990? And so really historic in the sense of 1974 on, the kind of year both these guys are having, both Freeman and Craig. And when you look at the guys below them, they're 50 points below them.
Right.
To give it some perspective.
And it's not just Craig on this Cardinals team. Molina, Carpenter, Beltron all hitting with runners in scoring position at a very high number. It's 2 strikeouts for Yadi tonight, 0 for 2. Tehran has struck out 7. He has walked 5. Because of that, his pitch count is at 96. Here's Yadi. And the first pitch is belted into left center. But there is B.J. Upton. For kids ages 15 and younger, presented by the Pasta House and Coca-Cola. That's Sunday, September 8th. And it's the 6th, the 7th, the 8th. Loaded with giveaways, included in there the Willie McGee jersey. Also a fireworks night. I can't believe how young these guys are that can text already.
I think he's tweeting.
Very well could be.
Danny Mac TV. I think that's what he's doing.
Well, he's already ahead of Al.
I'm telling him you said that.
That's fine. I'm used to it.
I'll be right back.
Rick just took off his headset. He's running over to the radio booth to get me in trouble right now. Thank you very much. It's Schaefer, Upton, and Freeman. That pitch is hit out of play. Schaefer has struck out and also flied out to center. Later it's Pittsburgh, San Francisco. Starling Marte goes on the 15-day disabled list. And Lambeau has been recalled. That's taken low, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'm back. You're in trouble.
I can imagine. What a disappointment the Giants have been.
Oh boy.
56 and 72. Tim Lincecum, free agent to be. I think that's fascinating. What teams may think of him on the open market. Is he a starter? Maybe a reliever? How much is he worth?
Matt Cain's had a rough year. Just really
went on the DL.
Went on the DL. Lincecum is, yeah, I just think a team would be really taking a chance. But you know, you take a flyer with him as your 4th starter or third starter, and
as we've seen, it only takes one crazy contract. On the inside corner and a strikeout for Miller. Strikeout number 6 for Shelby Miller. Starting pitching, as you talked about, most important player to develop in the AT&T Twitter poll.
I'm not surprised at the order. I'm surprised at the volume of votes that starting pitcher.
Discrepancy between the other two. Here's Justin Upton.
Now, I did vote 473 times.
May have added to that, but who's counting? I thought you brought up a great point, though, earlier. That's a swung on late 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Here you have Shelby Miller, highly touted, receives a big bonus coming out of high school where he absolutely dominated. No hitters, had a perfect game at one point, and yet in the first inning, first two guys blowing it right by him. He's done that probably 1,000 times,
right?
Throwing a baseball, and then boom, on a 1-2 pitch, launched by Freddie Freeman. And a young guy just trying to get the mindset back to be focused to pitch at this level. It's a tough thing to do.
Well, he gets credit for it because he's doing it, but people have helped develop him to be able to do it. And we talked a lot about Shelby Miller as a minor league pitcher that at one point all he was doing was pumping in fastballs, and they had to start calling his pitches for him to make him throw secondary pitches.
Shortstop Descalso.
Again, part of the development of learning to be a three-pitch pitcher, mixing in that changeup and the breaking ball. And, you know, Shelby Miller, most of his life, frankly, didn't need him.
But blow it right by.
But if you're going to be a starting pitcher and you're going to develop into one, there are guys like Freddie Freeman that they don't care how hard you throw. They're going to turn it around every once in a while.
And Freeman, the solo home run back in the first to account for the lone run for the Braves tonight. Positioned again on the outfield grass. That's Colt Long. Nice play. 8 in a row for Shelby Miller.
Swing and miss stuff. It was Joe Kelly on Thursday night. Good live fastball in the mid-90s. Then on Friday, it's Adam Wainwright. His cutter was working. Down and away, middle away, swings and misses last night. And tonight, the high heat of Shelby Miller. Just 2 hits for Atlanta. And they are having trouble centering all of the Cardinal starting pitchers in this series.
Cardinals have Jay, Wong, Descalso due up. This time of year, you start to think, okay, it looks like a team headed to the playoffs as long as they don't have a brutal collapse to the end of the season. Where does this pitching stack up at playoff time? You know, how good could they be once you get to a division series? Do they have enough for the 7-game series? You know, all those questions start to be answered here in the next few weeks, and how you try to line things up if you have that opportunity to do it.
And I'm of the mind that the way the playoffs are now in baseball, you have a season And there's some good in it, but there's also some frustration in it. You have a marathon season that's decided by a sprint playoff. I mean, it's just two different ways of approaching. And you've got teams that are built to be able to withstand 162 games. And how do you get through a season? And that's what the season is. It's a marathon that has its ups and downs. It has its losing streaks. Every team deals with it. Every player deals with it. And then you get down to, okay, it's a wild card play-in game. You better be good today. So now you're sprinting. And so how do you build for that is the question. Well, I think it's kind of a bit of a crapshoot. I mean, if you got
I don't think there's any doubt.
If you have Brandon Compton that we can't hit on a given day, you wouldn't say, oh, well, Brandon Compton's a guy that we're afraid of. But on a given night, he can handcuff the Cardinals as he did in Pittsburgh not that long ago.
Strikeout of John Jay. That's 8 tonight. Number 8 for this right-hander.
So in other words, baseball teams just need to get hot at the right time.
Well, the Cardinals are a great example.
Yeah.
2011. The Giants get hot last year. And then the teams that look like they're red hot, like a Detroit, twice now in postseason play, they're hot, but then they have to shut things down because the schedule says so after they win a bunch of games and the other league does not.
Giants, by the way, got hot in the middle of a game. Lance Lynn threw a ball at second base. It hit second base, and then they couldn't do anything wrong the rest of October.
Isn't that the truth? Wong is 0 for 2 of the walk, so there's 2 down. StubHub, get your tickets home or road, and also you'll receive fan rewards. StubHub.com. That is a big what if. Descalso also in that series, you may remember, Rick, had a chance with the bases loaded in that key game that we're talking about, that the misplay took place and the Cardinals did not come through. And I'm sure that's an at-bat that haunts Daniel Descalso. It has to.
And every player has to deal with that. You have plays that don't go your way, and again, that's the reality of the frustration that it's a long season where you've made great contributions otherwise, and that's what your teammates will tell you, and is that you don't get to that point if you're not participating in the marathon that gets you there. But you know, it's not just those moments, because other things happened after that, and you know, you can overcome them. Somebody can pick each other up. That's what teams do. But from the Giants' point of view, something just clicked for them at that particular moment. They got breaks after that. They all started playing well. The pitching got locked in, and all of a sudden Barry Zito is Lefty Grove.
Sandy Koufax. Rick Horton.
Easy.
home runs, and the Cardinals have a 2-1 lead.
Just home run derby right now. The Cardinals are leading 2-1. Only 5 hits in this game. Cardinals did not hit Tehran well in Atlanta. Really haven't done much against him here today, but a couple of big flies. And Shelby Miller, the only blemish on his evening was delivered by Freddie Freeman with 2 outs in the first. And he's been dynamite since. He was dynamite before.
And he's staying ahead in the count. There it is, 0-1. Think about this. Adam Wainwright did not have a 2-0 count until the 6th inning last night. That's when the Braves scored their only run. Tonight, Miller has not had his first 2-0 count yet. 0-2. Seth Maness getting loose in the pen. Pitch count 87 for Shelby Miller. It's Johnson, McCann, and Simmons. I don't think there's any doubt that the Atlanta Braves have run into hot pitching from St. Louis, and you're playing on the road, and they're not a good road team. At least could be under 500 after tonight, as opposed to what they do at home. But they miss Jason Hayward.
Oh yeah,
and it's a dramatic loss in this lineup. Gets him to reach. Johnson grounds to Descalso for the first out. Nice play by Daniel. And if you don't know, Jason Hayward was hit by a pitch, broke his jaw, and at the time was their leadoff man.
Well, you lose
that replay got him to reach.
You lose your leadoff batter. That really changes kind of the overall attitude of your offense, and we've seen that when Matt Carpenter is not in the game. No denigration to any other Cardinal player who hits in that leadoff spot when he's not there, but Matt Carpenter is just terrific in that leadoff spot. He gets on base percentage is high. He kind of it just ignites the Cardinals offense, and I think Hayward, since moving into that leadoff spot, has been that guy for Atlanta. I think they're maybe even emotionally trying to overcome that.
Sure. That's yanked down the right field line and fouled by McCann.
Saw Clint Hurdle, as a Cardinal, get hit by Dwight Gooden in the head in New York.
Remember seeing that.
And I was in the training room with Clint. We kind of brought him into the training room, and he didn't know who he was, where he was, blood coming out of his head. The helmet was cracked in half. And the emotional reality of that is, I mean, that's distressing. I mean, it just is. And, you know, we kind of talk about it like it's, well, he got hit and move on. But, I mean, it can be scary when you're talking about up around the head level. I mean, you're thinking, well, what if it was worse, or is he going to be okay? And so, you know, we keep talking about it from a production point of view. But there's a human element.
The 3-1 is hit out to deep right center field. Jay is back at the wall. He leaps it. Oh, yeah, he's got it.
Cardinal fans appreciate great defensive plays. Buzz going on here at Busch Stadium after that play. Wow.
Great play by Jay. Now it's Simmons. Initially, I thought it was gone.
His defensive confidence has improved drastically in the last month and a half.
Coincides with the way he's swinging the bat. Everything has just been taken to a different level. Nothing into the count with 2 down. Pitch count at 96 for Shelby Miller. Simmons is 0 for 2. Now 1 for 3. We head back to the catch made by number 19.
Well hit by McCann. It's in the gap. Looks like trouble. And a leaping grab by John Jay. Has his sights set on it. Not sure where it would have hit on the wall. What a great view those fans had of that particular play.
B.J. Upton with 2 down. Runner at first. He is struck out twice, 0 for 2. And Upton hits it down the right field line. It is slicing, foul, and out of play.
Cardinals reaction great. There's a Braves fan, though, in the middle. Not so happy. Why us?
You got to be kidding me.
How about that contrast?
I like it. Base hit by Simmons. Snaps 10 straight, set down by Shelby Miller.
Thrill of victory.
The agony of defeat.
Seen both sides of that.
Shelby is due up first for the Cardinals. Bottom half of this inning. And it's 1-2. He is painting tonight. And I know we showed the highlight of the strikeouts. Some of those pitches are up, but it seems like majority of them have been down, that downward plane that we speak of all the time.
With life on it.
Exactly. That late life that he's got. We saw that earlier this season.
This will be pitch number 100. Make it 101.
And it's a ground ball hit to short. Time to stretch.
And probably his last.
Good pitching, good defense. How about the play again from John Jay, and coming back in defensively. Standing ovation from the folks here at Busch. Three hits aside, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Cardinals. And the Cardinals will go to their bench, and that'll be it for Shelby Miller. Ninth spot in the lineup is due up, so Miller out of this game has a chance to win it. And Tehran at 105 pitches faces Shane Robinson, then Carpenter and Beltron.
Really a dominating performance by Shelby Miller. 7 solid innings. Mentioned going over 100 pitches, and as Shelby Miller's season continues to unfold, the marathon we're talking about, it's going to be interesting to see 3 or 4 weeks down the road how the Cardinals handle his innings as Robinson gets a base hit up the middle.
Nissan drives at the game. This was Carpenter, the first Cardinal hitter of the night. That tied it up, and this put him on top. Matter of fact, that's your scoring tonight. 2-1 St. Louis. So Shelby Miller, 7 innings pitched tonight. First time since June 1st against San Francisco. 14 starts that he's done that. As a matter of fact, Rick, it's the first pitcher outside of Wainwright that has done that since Lance Lynn did it in early August. Gone at least 7 innings.
We talked about the taxing nature on the Cardinals bullpen and Mike Matheny having to use Mujica for multiple days in a row, multiple innings. And he was hoping and thought he would be available today, and was kind of waiting to talk to one more doctor and have Mujica play catch a little bit. So we'll see if he's available for the 9th. Rosenthal will have the 8th. And that may be an indication that Mujica is available for the 9th.
Oh, it looked like he was picked off. Freeman thought that.
Chris Maloney whispering, this guy leads the league in pickoffs. To Shane Robinson, almost a little too late. Close play. Woo. Did he get him? No, he was safe.
That's taken for a ball outside. So Carpenter, the home run first time up, struck out swinging in the 3rd and popped out to short. And Rick, it's now 153 1/3 major league innings for the 22-year-old Shelby Miller. So now you're getting into territory that he has not had to face before in his career.
I would guess the Cardinals have a magic number, which I would not suspect that they would share publicly until they get to that point.
That's ripped into right field. And another multi-hit game. Robinson flying to 3rd and in there safely. Good speed from Shane Robinson.
Through our game yesterday, Dan, the Cardinals led all of baseball in 1st to 3rd running on base hits. Shane Robinson adding to that list. And normally, when you are not to the bag, you're not going to be able to make it. Strong arm and right, but Robinson runs well and decides to head 1st and 3rd. And through yesterday, the Cardinals had done that 85 times, Dan. Kind of an obscure stat. But no team in baseball had as many 1st and 3rds as the Cardinals have had.
It's a big stat. 1st and 3rd.
Obscure, though.
Yep. Nobody out. No. time we've seen him, the hard-throwing right-hander in this series. Very good ERA, and he comes into a tough spot. Part of the lineup due up, and the Cardinals have runners at first and third. Nobody out. Joey Terdoslavich takes over in left. Schaefer moves from left to center. Part of the double switch, and B.J. Upton out of the ball game.
Carpenter pitched an inning yesterday, and we talked yesterday about how the Cardinals continue to develop power arms in their system, and he's one of them. Cardinal minor leaguer, went to Houston, Toronto, now Atlanta. And the former teammate, I'm sure, of a number of current Cardinals.
Runners at the corners. First pitch to Beltron is taken for a ball in. Carlos with a home run and a single tonight. Trying to pound him in, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
I would not want to throw this pitch right here to Carlos Beltran.
Heisey a solo home run. Ryan Ludwig a solo home run. Zach Cozart a 2-run shot. Cincinnati leading Milwaukee. The score of 4-2, and that's in the 7th. The Giants in the first inning leading Pittsburgh 1-0. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Beltran. Popped up. Will it find the seats? Reaching in near the camera well and making the play, Chris Johnson.
Tough play, battling the railing, balance, still trying to keep your eye on the ball. Perhaps a fan's hat or glove in the way. Nice play.
Very nice note here from Prof K. He's enjoying the ball game with Keith O'Brien tonight. Wants to say hi to family and friends. Holiday, right center. The ball will get down. 1 run is in. Here comes another. Holiday on his way to second. He's busted this baby wide open. The Cardinals lead it 4-1.
Classic Matt Holliday. You think you can count him out on a given day? 0 for 3, couple of strikeouts. But this big hit. Robinson scores from third. Matt Carpenter had a base hit. He scores from first. And he scores for the 96th time this year. And Matt Holliday knows he's tagged it and digging for 2.
Now it's Craig. Looks at a high strike. Closes the book on Tehran. And he's on the hook right now. Craig has walked twice tonight and has popped out to short. A team this year in many ways defined by the double. Again, Holiday comes through with a double. 110 pitches for Tehran. The Cardinals were swept out of Atlanta. Seemed like they couldn't hit anything. Well, things have changed here in St. Louis. Giants now lead it 3-0 over the Pirates in the first. Craig hits it out of play. And the crowd tonight, over 43,000 here tonight. Craig out to left. That's a base hit. Holiday stops at third. Runners at first and third, and still only one out. Fourth hit in the inning for the Cardinals.
Alan Craig's on base for the third time. This is first hit. Slider, bad location, down and in. And the Cardinals may not be done yet. Dan, I know it's just August, but it would still be nice to say the Cardinals have not been in first place in the National League Central since the 29th of July when they were on the trip to Pittsburgh and Atlanta. Very tough trip. And if the Cardinals can hang on here, and San Francisco with the early good start against Pittsburgh can find a way to beat those Pirates, then the Cardinals and the Pirates would be tied.
Four consecutive games in which Matt Holliday has picked up an RBI. He stands at third. Craig on base for the third time tonight. The Cardinals now with 7 hits. 0-2 pitch to Yachty. Up the middle. That's a base hit, and it's 5-1 St. Louis. Yachty on an 0-2 pitch. 5-1 Cardinals.
Sometimes you hit your location, but that's not good enough. There's the location up, out over the plate a bit too much. And a rough day for Mr. Carpenter.
Comes in and he's allowed, out of the 4 hitters he saw, 3 hits. 5-1 St. Louis. Graphic we showed you earlier, the young pitchers going tonight. what they've done. And a great matchup tonight with Tehran and Miller. But Shelby Miller, 7 innings. And I'm sure a confidence boost for him this evening.
I'm trying to recover from the fact that the Dodgers actually lost a game, but Luis Avilan, the left-hander, is our Chevy call to the bullpen. His numbers very, very good. Fairly high number of walks at 20, but he's done a good job of solidifying the left side of the bullpen for Atlanta. They lost both Johnny Venters and Eric O'Flaherty to injury. Those two guys were phenomenal.
They were ridden into the ground. Used an awful lot, and they would bounce back time after time, but that caught up to them.
And the price you pay is not available, but Avilan has been very, very good from the left side. Opponents hitting just 153 against him.
You think ahead, along with Mike Matheny here. You're leading 5-1, could be even bigger before this inning is through. Is it a night that you even need Mejica? Maybe Rosenthal, sit him down and let him take a breather. He's pitched in 3 straight, I believe.
Well, we didn't see him yesterday.
Here's a 1-2.
Trevor did pitch on both Wednesday and Thursday.
They should have said excluding the start from Adam Wainwright.
And it's not just pitching, it's the warm up, which is part of the deal.
So there's a look at his workload. Wednesday, the 22 pitches, Thursday, 10. Really struggled in that Sunday game trying to get the final 2 outs against Chicago in that blowout win. Jay slowly hit to the right side, out at second, and safe at first. Should be interesting to see next year with these challenges for the managers. Those types of plays around the bag. Now, if you're around the bag, for the most part in a forced play, you're out. So with a challenge, you go back and you look at that, and the guy misses it by a half foot. Where 99 out of 100 times now he's called out. What happens next year? That's been part of baseball for years. Little tapper by Wong, and it's a foul ball.
I'm going to have to count to 10 on that one. My frustration with expanding replay is not shared by everybody else, but I do see the slippery slope possibility of how it can change the game some, slow the game down some. There's a flow and a cadence to every sport.
Wong is retired, and the Cardinals strand 2, but a big inning. They pick up 3. Rosenthal coming in when we come back. And a Bomberito Sports Update. And Rosenthal, a record of 1-3, 59 appearances now, and an ERA of 2.54. Ton of strikeouts, one of the best in that category in all of baseball among relievers. And he's in relief of Shelby Miller. Rosenthal, one of the pitchers that Shelby beat out in spring training as a starter. That pitch at 95 to Elliott Johnson, and we're underway here in the top of the 8th. And Molina is going to slow him down. That's been something they've been watching and trying to be very careful about, just slowing down Trevor Rosenthal.
You'd prefer an easy delivery that produces the high velocity pitch as opposed to a pitch that seems like it's going at 100 miles an hour mechanically and then throwing it mid-90s. To me, it has to start slower and easier for Trevor Rosenthal, and I think that's where he gets in trouble when he's rushing a bit. It's not a big change, just a bit slower. Under control. I think when you go too fast, Dan, the catcher's glove, which is what the pitcher's looking at, by the way. He's not looking at the plate, he's not looking at the hitter. Eventually he's picking up the glove. If you're going too quickly, the glove jumps around on you a bit, and you lose focus. Trevor's actually one of those pitchers, and he's not the only one, that actually looks away for a second, away from the catcher's glove in his delivery, then picks it back up again. That's not unusual. There's his eyes on the glove of Molina. Looks down, then up.
Liner and caught. One away.
That was part of the reason everybody was so kind of enamored with Fernando Valenzuela, Dan, when he was so good, because he would look up to the sky in his delivery, but when he would get further into his mechanics, he would certainly pick up the glove, and he had very, very good control.
One out, nobody on. Can't teach that. That's a live fastball, and a fastball that can get into the high 90s, triple digits. I mean, this is almost unhittable right here, in on your hands.
You can't say Turdlasovich by the time that ball leaves his hand and gets to home.
Really can't. You're right.
You want to try it?
No.
Come on, Dan. Ready?
Right. Yep.
Ready. Say it right now.
Turdlasovich.
You had to say it fast, though.
I think I can do it. I'm going to try it on this next one. Tell me when.
Ready? Now.
Turdlasovich. Oh, nice job, Orton. You jinxed it.
Oh, yeah. My fault.
Totally your fault. And a base hit for Turdlasovich. You know, we do 150 of these, Rick. Every once in a while you can have a little fun, you know.
Well, it's
the idea.
A little easier to have fun when it's 5-1 in the 8th inning, which really been a good game, too. Randy Choate, veteran left-hander, starts to throw.
Here's Schaefer.
I would say Tehran's pitched a little bit better than his.
Oh, play by Daniel Descalso. One of the plays of the night. A diving stop, and then gets the lead man at second base. Tremendous play from the Cardinals shortstop.
Going to his right. All instinct, then ability, then a good throw. Love the range of Descalso. Talk about an awkward throw. Look how off balance he is. He's spinning on his knees and throwing at the same time.
Great play. John Jay catch his good buddy Descalso with that play. The pitching that we've seen.
I was about to say, I think Tehran actually pitched pretty well today. His line's not very good. He did have 5 walks, but I think in some of those cases he was pitching around guys. But just 5 hits for him. Ended up giving up 4 runs because he got painted by his bullpen. But I can see why the Braves are excited about him.
Two outs and a runner at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. Justin Upton hitless tonight. 1-2.
We may see Choate in the 9th inning with Freeman and Brian McCann both hitting from the left side. Choate certainly getting ready for Freeman here. 5-1 lead. Probably get Choate up and maybe save Mojica for another day.
Chop towards short. Descalso to Waugh. Top of the 8th in the books. St. Louis on top. It's 5-1. Beer, Major League Baseball, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Anthony Barbaro pitched 2 innings in game 1 of this series. He's our Chevy call to the bullpen. Gave up 1 run against St. Louis. His ERA good as well, 3.14. Always could use a little more insurance.
Great play by Descalso moments ago. Trevor Rosenthal, a scoreless inning. Trevor made an appearance at one of our sponsors for Cardinals baseball at Gateway Buick GMC today, and you should have seen him out at Gateway with those kids. I mean, he is taking pictures, signing autographs. You talk about a very good ambassador for the club.
Very likable.
Yes. And there was people lined up outside to get their picture and autograph with him, and very, very accommodating. Shane Robinson singled as a pinch hitter for Shelby Miller. Came around to score. 1 out, nobody on.
Average climbing for Shane Robinson up to 283. He was off to a slow start this year. Really, #1 pinch hitter for the Cardinals a year ago. And you think our alumni are having a fun time tonight? I bet they are.
I would think so. Cardinals, you never know, maybe a 4-game sweep. Have a chance to go for that tomorrow. Still 3 outs away. Some insurance would be nice too. 5-1 as we play here in the home half of the 8th. Base hit into right, and Robinson is 2 for 2.
He just flat out hit. He had a year in the minor leagues where he hit 350. I mean, just can rake.
Kind of guy that had such great college success. Right. There's a reason why these guys are very good players. I mean, they've done it in the past. They're doing it now. You take a flyer on some of those guys later rounds, you never know.
Well, you talked about you can't teach 98. The pitchers that have been bringing it here tonight, and you can refine it and work with it, but the hand-eye coordination that a major league hitter has is just so good. How quick their hands have to be and how good their vision is. And that is a gift.
Carpenter, it's another multi-hit game tonight. The Cardinals have a lead of 4 runs, so Mahika could buy another day off for him, hopefully. And Manus and Choate getting loose.
I just assume Mr. Kimbrel has a day off and another day off tomorrow. Just as soon not see him.
Guy is nasty. 1-1 pitch, instead a check on the runner at first in Carpenter.
Cardinals got to him a couple of years ago, Dan. I can't recall all the details of the game, but I know they hit him pretty good. And I don't think, be hard pressed to think if he's gotten hit hard since then.
Here's a 1-2 on the inside corner. Strikeout of Carpenter.
Carlos Beltron, we've noticed, has a habit of putting the bat across the plate, and where the knob of the bat is, that's where he will put his foot. He actually draws a line to make sure that his feet are in the proper place in the batter's box. That's from years and years of kind of wanting to repeat his hitting mechanics and just make sure he's not creeping too close to the plate or pulling off of it a bit, and kind of takes all the guesswork out. We saw him do it. He just kind of draws a little line, and then his foot goes right on that line. It's just kind of like a pre-shot routine in golf. It just takes the thought out of his mind that maybe I'm in the wrong spot here.
Even after all these years, he's still doing that.
Seems to be working.
I'd say so. Here's an 0-1. Runner goes, and there's a stolen base for Robinson.
How do the Giants have 4 runs on 7 hits off of Francisco Liriano? I don't really care how. I'm just glad they do.
Fernandez, Harvey, Liriano. Again, I've said this, but the 3 best I think the Cardinals have seen. One-two pitch with 2 outs. 2-2. Beltron with a home run tonight. Measured at 402 feet. A single. He's grounded out and popped out. And he hits it sharply into right field. Here comes Shane Robinson. Big night for Beltron. His 3rd hit. It's 6-1 to St. Louis.
Love the add-on here for the Cardinals. They just did not stop swinging the bat here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They have the lead. Robinson aboard, steals a bag, and then Beltron comes through and picks up yet another RBI. That is number 70 for Carlos. Shane Robinson having an impact in the late innings.
Now it's Adams.
2 hits, 2 runs scored.
Here's your shift for Matt Adams. Oh, 2. We've seen that Adams can go the other way with power. He's had a couple of opposite field home runs this year. One and 2 on Adams. See if he can launch one. Runner at first, and Adams a swing and a miss through a fastball at 93. Carlos Beltron, a 3-hit night, picks up another RBI. 6-1 St. Louis. Clubhouse. We hope to visit live with Matt Carpenter. It's all coming up. Missouri Lottery Cardinals Live. And you also get the brilliant insights of one Rick Horton. Are you on the post game?
No, it would be Mr. Bennis today. Andy Bennis. Look forward to that. Andy was on the pregame as well. Our Chevy called in the bullpen. Randy Choate. Got a good whip. 1.07. Around the plate most of the time, and his job always is to get those tough left-handers out, and he will face a couple of them here in the ninth. Freddie Freeman and Brian McCann.
Last appearance was in Chicago for Randy Choate. He's a guy that if you're going to be a specialist, you would know this, Rick. Specialization of the game with the lefties. They love to pitch.
Sure.
And Randy Choate has talked about that. You can make 80 appearances when you're not going an inning plus every time. It's to face that lefty and leave the game, but you've got to try to stay sharp. And if you don't pitch, you don't stay sharp.
And speaking of that, not very sharp there. Now, Randy Choate did get up a number of times on the road trip. He was hot at least 2 other games. That pitch just gets away from him there. And that's how we start the ninth. So get the right-hander to hit a ground ball, and all is well.
And a pitch that misses down and in. You know, Don Mattingly went to Randy Choate last year and said, I'm finally figuring out what I'm supposed to do with you. I've got to use you a lot. There's your ground ball. How about 2, 4, 6, 3 on the double play. Let's turn to our player of the game. A presentation of Budweiser. Cardinals starter Shelby Miller. The 7 innings, only 3 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks. Really controlled the count tonight, and a big difference in the ball game. Shelby Miller.
Good live fastball for Miller, and I would say the best fastball we've seen from him in the last 5 or 6 starts.
Ground ball up the middle and a base hit. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Randy Choate not happy one bit. He's coming out. And appearing for the 50th time. Made an impact early on, getting double plays. It's our Chevy called to the pen. And since June 17th, getting better and better and better as we go along.
That ground ball percentage, we know from studying Jake Westbrook over the years, is very, very high at 85. And Mike Matheny didn't want to take any chances here with the right-handers coming up, even though he has a 6-1 lead. So he uses Manus here with 2 outs.
And Simmons looks at a strike. One ball, one strike. One and two. The 2-2 pitch. We'll do it again. A 6-1 lead for the Cardinals here in the 9th. The 2-2. A line shot and a base hit into center field. Game is extended as McCann is in scoring position. Well, part of the 2011 World Championship team, Gerald Laird, now a member of the Atlanta Braves, last season with Detroit. strike one.
Manus works. Aldretti and Matheny think.
Better think fast. He works so quickly out there. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and 2 on. The next from Manus. Valuable role here in his rookie season, but you wonder about the future with Seth Manus. The immediate future, he wants strike 3. Base hit. 1 run is in. As the throw comes into second, and that makes it a 6-2 game. Run charge to Choate.
That pitch up, not the spot that Manus normally lives in.
Mejica coming on when we come back. Taking no chances whatsoever with runners at second and third. Mejica coming in.
It is a save situation for Chief. 33 out of 35 in save opportunities, trailing only Craig Kimbrell of the Braves, who has 40 saves. And Mejica has been dealing with kind of a upper back issue physically, but cleared to pitch today. And this, again, is a save situation, kind of one of the easier ones because the tying run is on deck, but still a couple of important outs or important batters to face, hopefully just one.
And the fans back on their feet. 2 outs, runners at second and third. And Johnson is swinging a miss.
So when Matheny and Aldretti were talking, they were saying, what batter do we bring Mejica in for? That's really what they were thinking ahead towards. And it's this situation right here.
0-2. Potential sweep tomorrow. The Cardinals have taken the first 3 of this series over Atlanta, and that is win number 76.
Very convincing victory for the Cardinals here tonight. A couple of home runs. Matt Carpenter, Carlos Beltron. They tacked on late in this game a 3-run 7th and another run in the 8th. Mojica picks up a save. Good to see him out there again. And boy, things sure have changed for St. Louis over the last 3 weeks.
You bet. The Cardinals hold on 6-2. More coming up in the postgame show.